Good afternoon to all. So today we are going to talk about the basic structure of Brahmanical temple in ancient Indian subcontinent. If we talk about the architectural remains that survive from ancient Indian early medieval India, basically they are the religious in nature, and that does not mean that people did not have art in their home at that particular era or in their mind, but domestic dwellings and the things in them were mostly made from materials like wood and clay, which have perished. So whenever we talk about the Brahmanical temple architecture, three major styles we are considering right now. One is Nagara, second one is Dravida, and the third one is Besharam. The basic form of Brahmanical temple comprises the following: the sanctum, which known as in Sanskrit the Garbha Griha or house, which was a small cubicle with a single entrance and grew into a large chamber in time. The second most important part is the entrance to the temple. The third one is Mandapam. The fourth one is the elevation part, which is also considered to be the Shikhara, the carving Shikhara in northern India, and the pyramidal town in southern India, considered to be Vimana. The Vahana is another part, that is the mount of the vehicle of the temple's main deity, along with the standard pillar or dhaja. So these are the basic parts you have to remember before going to the main body. Thank you. So today we are going to talk about the basic structures of ancient Indian temple architecture, and the first two style we are going to talk about. The first one is Nagara style of temple architecture, and the style of temple architecture that became popular basically in northern India and the eastern part of Indian subcontinent, known as Nagara. In North India, it is common for an entire temple to be built on a stone platform with steps leading up to it, and further, unlike in South India, it does not have elaborate boundary walls or gateway, which in southern Indian language they talk about or they named as Gopuram. Well, the earliest temple had just one tower or Shikhara, later temple had several. The Garbha Griha is always located directly under the tallest tower, and there are many subdivisions of Nagara temple depending on the shape of this Shikhara. There are the different names of the various apart from the temple in different parts of India. However, the most common name for the simple Shikhara, which is square at the base and the obviously whose wall curve and slope inwards to a point on the top, is called the Latinum. If we talk about the example of Nagara architecture, the first name came in our mind is the Mukteshwar temple in Bhubaneswar. Thank you. So the next thing we are going to talk about the Dravidian temple architecture basic style. In this style, we see the front wall has an entrance gateway in its center, which is known as Gopuram. The shape of the main temple tower, known as Vimana in Tamil Nadu, in Tamil language, is like a stepped pyramid that rises up geometrically rather than the curving shikhara of northern India. In the South Indian temple, the word Shikhara is used only for the crowning element at the top of the temple, which is usually shaped like a small stupika or an octagonal cupola. This is an equivalent to the Amalak or Kalash of Northern Indian temple. And the second point, whether the entrance of the North Indian temples Garbhagriha, it would be usual to find images like Mithuna and the river goddess Ganga Yamuna. In the south, you will generally find sculptures of fierce Devapalas or the doorkeepers guarding the temple. It is commonly to find a large water reservoir or a temple tank enclosed within the complex. These are the basic features of the Dravidian temple style. If you visit Meenakshi temple, you can see this type of main features. Thank you.